Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here. We're doing another Swiss pre-release draft for Dragons of Tarkir. All right, well, we opened the bane of my existence from the last draft, Hidden Dragon Slayer, so gotta take this one. Oh yeah, and resolution from the last draft. So in round 3, I had those two what I thought were bugs. It turns out, okay, so I filed for the reimbursement. I got the reimbursement, um, but they weren't like they were kind of vague on why they were giving me the reimbursement. But believe you me, they're not going to just throw you 15 tickets unless there really was something that was wrong. So I'm pretty sure I was wrong about the second bug. Um, if there's multiple creatures you attack with that are blocked by multiple creatures, each individual pair of attacker and blockers has to be arranged in a certain order. I can't believe I never realized that before, but that's exactly what happened. So, um, anyway, that thing was my fault, but the Yasova Dragon Claw glitch where it was like I paid for the thing and then I canceled and it just emptied my mana pool, that was definitely a glitch. So I'm pretty sure that's what they must have reimbursed me for. Okay. Anyway, we got Hidden Dragon Slayer follow-up pick. Well, Deathwind is good removal. I could maybe go for a black-white thing. In white, there's Artful Maneuver, which I do like, and Dramoka Dunecaster are fine. But I think Deathwind's going to be stronger, or this card's kind of interesting too. Kolagon Forerunners. It's okay. It's pretty good, actually. Um, kind of feeling the Deathwind. Harsh Sustenance is something that I could pick up out of the Reforged pack. I mean, it's just good removal. I think we just take the good removal card. I don't know how good Black White is yet. I mean, it was good with Cons of Tarkir and stuff with this, but nowadays, I just don't know. All right. Now we've got Herald of Dramoka, which technically does work with Dragon Slayer, but Vigilance, I mean, it's good. It's not like insane. I think I'd still rather have either Hand of Silumgar or Defeat, and I'm thinking we probably want the Defeat because kills Morph Manifest stuff and kills early guys as well. So I like it. I think it's a good removal spell. I like Death Touch too, but let's take Defeat. I can get behind that. I actually like this Lurking Arynx. This card is really strong if you get Formidable. Mirror Mockery is okay. I think Tail Slash is really good too. Really good. But let's take Defeat. Okay, now we've got Acid Spewer Dragon. We have a Reckless Imp. Enduring Victory, definitely good. Aven Tactician, also good. I think we might just want the Victory. I like picking up, every single card we've picked up so far is removal, which I'm perfectly fine with. So let's take Enduring Victory, see how well this plays for. Well, I've played it before. It is a good card. It's a little bit expensive, but I think you get some pretty good value out of it, especially if you time it right with the bolster. You could get something really nasty out of that. Sunbringer's Touch, Bolster X. Huh, card's pretty good actually. Now there's Vial of Dragonfire. There's also Lightwalker. Lightwalker currently does work with Enduring Victory. Might be worth taking. Otherwise, what? At worst, it's a 2-mana 2/1 warrior. I don't have any problems with that. Otherwise, I'm taking a Vial of Dragonfire, which I actually like, to be honest. But I think I'm going to take the Lightwalker. I want to try this card out. And the fact that if you manage to bolster it, it turns into a 3/2 flyer at least. It's pretty good. That is pretty good. And it's a warrior on top of that. So I'm just going to take it over the Vial. I actually don't have any problems with Vial of Dragonfire. I think it's fine, but I'm interested enough in Lightwalker where I want to take it here. Okay, now we can take Artful Maneuver. I'm thinking that's probably the best that we've got here. Anything else of note? Yeah, Fate Forgotten's probably a fine sideboard card. Wandering Tomb Shell, not too exciting. Artful Maneuver is fine. I think it is a fine card. All right. Cunning Breeze Dancers, probably pretty good. I think we'll probably just take the Reckless Imp, though. I don't see why not. It's got Dash, or we can just fly it. I actually think that's a pretty good dash cost since it's evasive as well, but it can't block, so upsides and downsides. But right now we look like we could easily mold ourselves into some sort of aggressive black-white deck with a bunch of removal, which I think would be pretty good. Wow, that's a late Ojutai summons. That's a really late Ojutai summons. I think it was LSV said best common in blue. It's pretty good. So I could take Ojutai summons and just hate it, or I could take the Karsi Sadist, which really isn't that special. I don't think Karsi Sadist is all that good. I mean, I guess it's okay if you're playing aggressive and you just want to make them lose too, but I think I'm just going to hate the... I mean, usually you don't hate before you take cards you need, but I don't really like the Sadist enough to take it over the summons, I don't think, because I'm not even really that interested in playing it. All right, Marsh Hulk, I'm going to take over the Territorial Rock. I actually don't think Rock's that bad, but I think Marsh Hulk is a great card to sort of end up at. Plus, if I have multiple morph cards, it sort of draws the attack off. I mean, they might use a removal spell on my Marsh Hulk, and I can save my Dragon Slayer to get value later. All right, Foul Tongue Shriek is interesting, but we don't have a ton of creatures right now. We look more like a removal deck, so I'm not sure how well it'll work with that. But Dunecaster is actually a fine card, and certainly fine with taking it there. All right, I think now we just probably take another blue card. I mean, we could take the green card too, but of all of these blue cards, I don't know, maybe the Interceptor is pretty good. It evades. All right, Mind Rot is a fine card, certainly. I'll take that. So I like the start we have. I mean, we clearly want to be black-white. We have good removal. We have good creatures. I think we're going to need to pick up some more creatures, but I'm certainly not unhappy with the tricks and removal we have at the moment. Faithful's actually, I think, a good card. I think someone left in the comments that they don't think it's that good, but I actually really like Faithful. I don't think it's a bad card. It's got some interesting synergies in this format. All right, we're going to let someone have Revealing Wind and just sort of indicate to them that we do not want to be in green. We did pick up some late blue, including the late Ojutai summon, so I could dip out of a color or splash for one of these colors, but all right, Ojutai's Command, that's certainly interesting, but I think we're more interested in the Great Teacher's Decree. Student of Ojutai is not bad either, but I kind of want to stick with this whole, I want to stick with the black-white thing. And Great Teacher's Decree, though we're low on creatures currently, is, I played against it and I thought it was insane. So I'm going to take it here and hope to pick up some early dudes, early creatures. All right, well, I passed Deadly Wanderings last time and I regretted it quite a bit. There is also Sandcrafter Mage. I mean, we're low enough on creatures where Deadly Wanderings just might be what we're looking for. It's pretty strong. But the problem is, all right, here's the problem with Deadly Wanderings in our deck. We're trying to be an aggressive beatdown deck. And how do you be... I feel like this is more of a control card. You know what I mean? This is like a blue-black control insane card. I mean, like if I run Deadly Wanderings, what's the point of running Great Teacher's Decree? I kind of feel like I want this Sandcrafter Mage, because think about the turn progression of Lightwalker into Sandcrafter Mage, and if I'm to pick up like one or two more of these, I'm going to have a really aggressive beatdown deck, I think. So Deadly Wanderings is a fantastic card, and I definitely underrated it in the last time I passed it up. But that being said, this doesn't look like a deck that really wants to run that. You don't want to run like dash creatures that can't block with... I don't know. I think it's a strong card, but not exactly what I'm looking for in this deck. I'm looking for more of a beatdown little build. All right, Tactician seems really good here. Otherwise, it's another removal spell, but I want the evasive guy that bolsters, definitely. I'd like to pick up another Lightwalker if possible. All right, Gate Smasher. Toughness 4 or greater. All right, well, don't have much of that, but this card is certainly pretty good if I did. Minister of Pain seems fine. Student of Ojutai. The second one we've seen, another Vial of Dragonfire. Still on the hunt for more creatures. I think we're going to take the Minister here. Because it's a 3-mana 2/3 at worst. I could take the Student of Ojutai. I'm trying to think what I think about that. It's not as beat down, I don't think, as the Minister. It's more of a give yourself some protection. I think Shambling Goblin's an okay card too, especially with Exploit. But I'm just going to take Minister as another potential removal spell sort of thing, or a beater if I need it. All right, Radiant Purge seems like a fine sideboard card, I guess. Skirmisher is a nice cheap beater. I think we probably want the Center Soul. Give protection. It's kind of like this set's Feat of Resistance. So I'm fine taking that. Let's take Center Soul. I think Skirmisher would be a fine pickup too, but I think there's quite a bit of upside to Center Soul. What does this guy do? Huh. It's kind of an interesting card. I think we probably want the Sandstorm Charger. Nothing insane, but yet another creature to add to our list, and it's a fine thing to eventually megamorph or whatever. All right, we can take an Artful Maneuver. We can also take this Glaring Aegis. Glaring Aegis is a good beatdown card. Artful Maneuver also seems pretty good, though. I still need more creatures, granted. I could diversify and take the Glaring Aegis. It does beat down well. And you get to tap something down right away with it. But I don't know how much I like. I think Artful Maneuver is just better because of the rebound. That one I'm unsure, I admit. I'm going to take another Artful Maneuver, though, because I think it's good. No creatures that are on color. Could take the Battle Mastery, I guess. Sure. I don't think we need it, but I'll cut white. All right. Table of Shambling Goblin. That seems fine. Right now we're looking like we might be a, I'll take the Icebreaker. It's okay. Might be a 16 land deck currently just because we don't have a super high curve. There's a chance. All right, I'm taking the Vial that tabled over the Mind Rot and Dragon's Eye Sentry. Like I said, I don't really have problems with Vial of Dragonfire. All right, of these cards, I think maybe Mystic Meditation is the best. All right, Tygum Strike, sure. Doesn't matter. Whatever. Okay, so close to a deck already. We have a pack left. Certainly need more creatures to make this deck work. But if we do, this Great Teacher's Decree is going to be great, I think. So just looking for some more cheap creatures. Like I said, I still think we could very easily get away with 16 lands currently with this deck. All right, well, we can take the Soul Flare. I feel like with all the removal, we can find a way to delve this fairly easily. I think the issue is, do we have any abilities we can give it? We can give it Flying. We can give it Lifelink, right? We can, yes. We can give it, is that it? Flying, Lifelink. That's it. Flying and Lifelink. Still not bad. I think we'll take it. It's interesting enough where I'll take it here. Otherwise, I'm taking a much less exciting, like, Hooded Assassin. Actually, Pressure Point's fine, but we're on the hunt for creatures, so I'm going to take Soul Flare. Okay. Now we have the Harsh Sustenance. We also have a Reach of Shadows. Oh, well, never mind. We got the Dragon Scale General. This is a great card, so happily taking the rare here. Hopefully we table Harsh Sustenance, Soul Summons, or Reach. Well, we're not going to table Reach, but Harsh Sustenance, if no one's in black-white, seems like a thing we could easily table. Muck Draggers is a little bit expensive for this deck, but happily taking Dragon Scale General, which is a card I like quite a bit. All right, there's a Gurmag Angler, there's a Vanguard. Valorous Stance is just a very good card. I think we're probably going to upgrade one of our non-creatures for it, so probably cut the Battle Mastery, which I don't think this deck really needs to succeed. Let's take the Valorous Stance here. It's a really, really good piece of removal. Okay. Scoured Barrens is land, but we're only 2-color. We're not hyper color intensive, so I'm not sure we need that. Ugin's Construct, maybe. Pressure Point is okay. If I take Critted Assassin, I think that might be what I want. Ugin's Construct is fine. And I guess it has random synergies with like Shambling Goblin or anything else that has a death effect. But yeah, I kind of feel like I just want some more creatures. I think we probably cut maybe Mind Rot, but Mind Rot's pretty good too. I'll take the Assassin. It's not a very exciting pickup, but all right. Outcast, on the other hand, that's a good card. Another Scoured Barrens in here, which is fine, but I'm definitely taking the Outcast. Can I still get away with 16 lands? I think we actually can. But now I do actually have to make a cut, and it should probably be a non-creature card, since I really want to make sure I have enough beats to get full value off Great Teacher's Decree, which is, by the way, insane with Sandstep Outcast. Let's cut a non-creature. Maybe I do cut the Mind Rot. It's maybe a better sideboard card. We're more focused on combat tricks and creatures and removal rather than hand disruption. Let's take the Outcast. Wandering Champ seems great, even if I don't get value off of it. In that way, it's a 2-mana 3/1. It's just a very aggressive card. There's also Typhoid Rats, but I think I'd rather have the 3-power dude. I feel like we can ideally beat down relatively well with this deck, with the quantity of combat tricks we could have. Maybe I cut the Vial of Dragonfire. It's probably the weakest non-creature card we have, I think. Champ it is. Okay, Harsh Sustenance, that's going to be pretty awesome for this deck. So maybe for this one, we cut... I like that we're having a hard time cutting. Whenever you're having a hard time making cuts, that's always good. Keep that in mind. That is always good. That means that you have a lot of good cards, which we do. We do have a lot of good cards. I'm definitely taking Harsh Sustenance. I need to figure out what I'm going to cut, but we'll ideally figure that out soon enough. All right, I think I want this Honors Reward. Can you imagine how bonkers this would be? I almost wish I got another Lightwalker now. Lightwalker into Honors Reward. Attack for 4 flying on turn 3. It's pretty good. I mean, I'd like to play it too, but we'll see how realistic that is. All right, Pressure Point. Yet another kind of nice tempo card. Tabling that Harsh Sustenance is huge. So certainly not cutting any creatures. I'm going to take the Abzan Advantage. It's a good sideboard card. I think Fierce Invocation got better. I'm not going to play the Skirmisher, so let's just hate that. Rune Mark's pretty good. I think we'll hate that. I think Enhanced Awareness got better too. Sure. So it does look like blue is open, but by the way, I'm super happy with our deck. I think it's great. I just have to decide what's worth playing, what's not. It may end up being I can't play the Honors Reward, but then again, maybe I cut one of the Artful Maneuvers for it. But Artful Maneuver is such a well-costed, such a high pressure. All right, I think we're cutting Pressure Point. I like it. I was just about to say high pressure, and it just reminded me. I think we're cutting Pressure Point. I like it, but not quite good enough for our deck, since we're more focused on creatures and removal. The question is still, do I want to do 16 lands? Which is an okay question. I'm not sure if I want to do 16 lands now, because I'll never be able to get to 7, I think. Getting 7 lands off with a 16 mana base might be difficult. I mean, I can always just play it as a 3 mana 2/2, but I admit it's a little bit less exciting like that. Reckless Imp's a little dash creature, so that can be different if need be. Dragon Slayer is a Megamorpher. I definitely like the Charger. So I do have to make some cuts. Maybe we are cutting Honor's Reward, but then again, because of how good it is with Lightwalker and it's a permanent effect, maybe I cut an Artful Maneuver for it. I kind of want the Valorous stance just because I love how diverse it is. Protect or remove is just really, really good. I don't want to cut Sinner Soul either. This is tough. I really don't want to cut creatures, but maybe I go to 15. The problem with that is it makes our Harsh Sustenances worse. I mean, I think the weakest creature maybe is this Icebreakers. Shambling Goblin's not the best beatdown dude, but I feel like it protects really well in certain spots. And Dunecaster's not the best attacker either if you're trying to be aggressive, but it is something to do that, gets creatures out of combat. It can be good. Yeah, I gotta decide some cuts here. This is tough. So I need 3 cuts if I want 16 lands. Jeez. Well, let's start cutting some spells then. I think we'll cut... I kind of want to keep all of our buff spells. That's tough. I think for... Man. I want to keep all of my removal and my pumps. All right, just for synergy's sake, I think I'm going to cut 1 Artful Maneuver for the Honor's Reward. Now I have to make 2 more cuts. I guess I'm going to cut the Icebreaker. I feel like it's not that great if you're trying to be aggressive. So we go down to 15. I have to make 1 more cut. And I currently do not know what it is. And I think it has to be a spell. I don't want to go to 14 creatures and try and get away with Great Teacher's Decree. So I guess the ones that's on the fence, the ones that are on the fence are... What are the ones on the fence? I don't even know. I guess Artful Maneuver and Honor's Reward. Maybe. I really don't want to cut another Artful Maneuver, though. It's such a good combat trick. I could cut the Center Soul, but... I mean, it's not Feat of Resistance, and I don't have Prowess, but it's good. Protection from removal is good. I think the reason that I suggest it is the only cards I really care about protecting are like Dragon Scale General, and that's about it. I don't even really care about protecting Dragon Slayer once it's done its job. You know? Alright, maybe I cut the Center Soul. That's tough, man. This is tough. Tough last cut. I'm going to cut the Center Soul, I think. I want the pump. I think I value the pump spells higher than the protection spell, just because they're really excellent aggressive cards. Okay, so 16 lands. We top out at 6 technically, but because it has Delve, I think we're going to be playing it for much cheaper than that quite often. And so we really top out at 5, and it's only a couple cards. I think this is a 16 land deck. Like I said, we're not super color intensive. We're not a very expensive deck. And I don't want to get flooded. And I feel like we can do a lot with like 3 mana in this deck. So, okay. I like the deck. I think the deck looks good. It's a cool deck. So let's add some lands. What do they say? 9/7. I need black early though for Reckless Imp and Shambling Goblin. I guess I can probably get away with 8/8. I mean, I definitely need white more early, but I need to see black at least. And I need double black late. I guess it's not until late though. And I don't even technically need it for Marsh Hulk. So the only card that requires double black is Soul Flare. Maybe I do go 9/7 then. Because my 2-drop white is pretty important creature-wise, right? Although this is, well, I think I am going to do 8-8 ultimately. So I don't know how high to rate this deck. I think it does look good though. I'd like to rate it highly. Good removal, good creature count, good like combat tricks and powerful spells. Nothing. What's like the weakness of the deck? I think the weakness is like no super bomby rares. Dragon Scale General is certainly good. Soul Flare is like an interesting one, but nothing like I play it and my opponent doesn't answer it and they just die. There's nothing like that. Dragon Scale General is probably the closest. Very excited to try out this Great Teacher's Decree because I do think it's a very strong card. And Double Heart Sustenance, like I said, should be pretty good for us too. Okay. Well, I'm ready to run the deck like this, and we'll see how we do. I'll see you in round 1.